Welcome back, everyone, to day 6 of Walkabout 2019. This is a day to make up a little mileage. In particular, it's a little bit longer than previous days, if you'll see on the map here, 10 hours, because Amy's cousin lives in Boise, and that meant a free place to stay. But that only gives us a target. That still leaves most of the day open for seeing things and checking out different parts of the world. We start out in the morning on running up Route 89, which is also called the Volcanic Legacy Scenic Byway. The reason it's called that is because it heads right up through the Lawson National Forest to the Lawson Volcanic National Park. And then from there it's up through eastern Oregon, up into the deserts of eastern Oregon. I don't know if you know that eastern Oregon is a deserty, desolate, empty place. Not a lot of people there until you get all the way over to the farmlands around Boise, Idaho. But you'll see from today's voyage what that looks like. And we start the day leaving our campground and heading up the parkway. It was a beautiful morning starting out, and Reno was certainly enjoying the ride, but it didn't take us too long to get to Lawson Volcanic National Park. Now it's called Lawson Volcanic National Park because of the Lawson Peak, which is an old volcano. So the area around there is full of a lot of cool old volcanic formations and a lot of little hot pots and bubbling hot springs and volcanic little pools. And one of the interesting things about Lawson Volcanic National Park is that it's pretty high up. The peak's around 10,000 feet. And we're not going to go that high, of course, in the car, but we are going pretty high up. And that means one thing we didn't anticipate since we were traveling in July, and that's snow. I mean a lot of snow. I mean like over the top of the car snow, as you'll see from some of these amazing pictures on our multiple hour tour through Lawson Volcanic National Park. Enjoy. Let's not forget, people, these snowpacks and fields of white powder and piles of snow over the car. This is all on July 10th, getting on to be in the height of summer, and this stuff still hasn't melted. Anyway, it made for a fantastic interlude in the middle of what had been a previously relatively warm trip. Honestly, it got down below freezing, down to about 27 degrees up in various points at the top of the mountain. That was a heck of a nice change from the usual weather we've been getting on the trip. So coming down off the peak, we got to go through the forest for just a little bit till we got over to the guest services section on the north side of the park, right on the shores of Manzanita Lake, which is a small little pre-lake with a couple of buildings, a place to fill up your car, maybe get a drink or a bite, before you jump out on the highway and continue your trip on up into southern Oregon, minus the occasional construction traffic control, of course. So still on Highway 89 up through northeast California. This is some of Reno's favorite part of the whole trip, I think. As we continued up 89, things started to flatten out and the piney woods started to fade away. We got into more of a plains type environment. Some big expanses, beautiful big skies. Reno was entranced. Don't ask me what this is. I couldn't decide if it was a grain silo or a giant badminton birdie. And then it was the Oregon border, and that meant it was time for lunch. The little town called New Pine Creek, where we decided to stop for lunch at the Goose Lake State Park, which is literally right on the border of Oregon and California, on the side of Goose Lake. It was a beautiful view for lunch, a nice picnic table. Reno enjoyed it, and so did Amy and I. So after lunch, it was back on the road up through the plains of eastern Oregon, past Lake Bear, past Alkali Lake, which made me chuckle because of, if you like comic book style movies like the X-Men, you'll know that the Alkali Lake is in the X-Men. Even though it's not this Alkali Lake, it still made me laugh. Just before lunch, we had picked up US 395 as we headed up into Oregon. And if you've never been to eastern Oregon, I wasn't kidding earlier when I said it's a desert. Take a look at some of these pictures and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a barren wasteland of scrub brush. It's not very exciting. Even some chalk-bedding looking dried lake beds as we cruise through eastern Oregon. Eventually we hit US Highway 20, called the Central Oregon Highway, and we took it through some of these river gorges that proceed to cut down in towards Idaho, and finally hit the Idaho border and cruise over to Boise to our place we were going to stay the night. Alright, that does it for day 6. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. The morning through Lawson Volcanic National Park was of course gorgeous, and then some of the piney woods and Great Plains of eastern Oregon were also pretty in their own way. If you did enjoy it, I hope you come back for day 7 as we make our way up across the Idaho border, ducking in and out of Oregon and Washington, up through Lewiston, all the way to Spokane, Washington, and our final destination. It's a beautiful day as well, and I hope you'll come along for the ride. See you then.